and I forgot where I was. I thought I was in Colombia and I went for the chick and she went like Neo from the Matrix, full like this. This is Convo Speak, a YouTube channel for Spanish learners. So if you're learning Spanish, hit the subscribe button now. You will learn about culture, language learning tips, and the way real people speak Spanish. What's up guys? Being an immigrant is not easy at all. During my time here, I have experienced challenging but hilarious situations. Today, you're gonna see what it means to be Hispanic in the United States. But before I get started, I have an important disclaimer. First of all, the experience of Hispanics in the United States is not just one. We come from a wide range of cultures, from big cities like I came from a big city in Bogota, Colombia, to small towns. Some of us are more connected to our native identities. We also come to the United States for different reasons. Some people come as refugees, sadly, and they don't have the option to really stay in their countries for their safety. Others come because of their choice. I had the opportunity to come here as my own choice. The stories are all different, but today I'm going to tell you mine. I'm going to tell you the most challenging or otherwise hilarious situations that I had migrating here in the United States. I migrated to the United States when I was 18, about 9 years ago. I came because my mom married a US citizen, so I was lucky to jump into a kind American family. With them, I learned English and learned how to survive a Michigan winter.
What is it? What is it? Oh. What is it?
I can't put my arms out!
Yes, before coming to the United States, I had never seen snow, and it was magical at the beginning, until it lasted for 6 months, and then it wasn't so magical. In my American family, I was also able to build great memories and also play wonderful card games. Even with all this support, not everything has been easy. And if I had to describe some of the most challenging and otherwise hilarious situations, I would use the word awkward. This is a word that I have tried for years to translate to Spanish, and I just cannot find a Spanish equivalent. And because this word exists here in the United States, awkward becomes real and we encounter a lot of awkward situations. I'm sorry to say it, but Americans, but sometimes you are very awkward. Let me tell you, sometimes there have been times that I'm in a party and I'm talking to a friend, and then a friend of these friends comes to the conversation but fails to acknowledge me. That honestly wouldn't fly in Colombia, and that's something that I just find really hard. Talking about awkward, what do you do when you meet a stranger? Do you hug them? Do you shake their hands? Do you just awkwardly wave? In Colombia, normally when you meet somebody from the same gender, you shake their hands. If you meet somebody from the opposite gender, you will kiss their cheek once. Of course, I knew that in the United States, kissing the cheek of somebody that you had just met is probably not the best move, but one time I forgot. I had this friend in college, and yes, I was gonna say goodbye to her, and I forgot where I was. I thought I was in Colombia, and I went for the chick, and she went like Neo from the Matrix, full like this. And that was goodbye forever. I never got to see her again. Awkward. Cultural exchanges just tend to be awkward. Another challenge after being 10 years in the United States is that I am not from here and I am not from there. No soy de aquí y no soy de allá. Working, living, having friends in the United States, you start to think in English, speak in English, read in English, live in English. And then when you go for a vacation to Colombia, to your home country, I'm just unable to really get back into the fast flow of Spanish and the way people are speaking there. So I struggle a little bit the first week. My cousins never cut me some slack. They always making fun of me like, "Oh Diego, you're such an American." And I'm like, "Hola, me llamo Mike." Then there are new trends, new things that are happening in Colombia, and I'm just so disconnected that I am unable to keep up with everything. So people are having conversations that I just cannot relate whenever I go and visit my country. And then you would think I'm able to have great conversations with my American friends. That's not the case. They often talk about experiences that they had in their childhood, maybe music, TV series, or food. The other day they had a conversation about cereal that lasted like 20 or 30 minutes. They were mentioning these cereal tricks, Oreos. I don't know what else they were talking about. I spaced out for 10 minutes and they kept going. Cheerios, Count Chocolate. I don't know. In Colombia we don't have like 3,000 brands of cereal. In fact, very rarely we have cereal for breakfast. We prefer things like arepas or fresh squeezed orange juice or tamales. Oh my god, if there is something I miss, is Colombian food. Well, and you may be wondering, what about discrimination? Have you experienced any discrimination as a Hispanic in the US? I must say that most Americans have been incredibly kind and very understanding of where I come from. There have been a few situations where some people who are just very ignorant ask me, "Hey, you are from Colombia, where do you have your Coke?" To which I answer, I'm more of a Pepsi guy. Another one that I encounter a lot is that I often get called Mexican, or people just assume I'm Mexican or that I know everything about Mexican culture, when that's not the case. Remember, different country, different culture. I have a lot of respect for Mexico, but I'm just not from Mexico. So what's up with that? And of course, there is that guy.
Actually, I don't know. I may have to go for the Hispanics, to be honest with you. We got a lot of Hispanics. We love our Hispanics.
For the most part, yes, Americans have had really good intentions. Sometimes they just don't know so much about my country and my culture. I have been asked if I come from a small place where they have just huts and I go to school on a donkey. I wish anything would be better than the big city where I come from, that is the size of New York City and where traffic is only second to Mumbai, and how bad it is. And it's hard. I mean, I used to have also assumptions about what Americans were like and what this country was about. I used to think all Americans were rich. I used to think the only thing they ate was fast food. So, you just have to stay open-minded and ask questions, learn from others. That's why it's very important that you guys subscribe to this channel right now, because in this channel you're gonna learn about other cultures and how to avoid those situations that happen because you haven't been exposed to them. As I said at the beginning of the video, it's been 9 years since I migrated from Colombia. During this time, I got the opportunity to become an American citizen. I got the opportunity to travel all over the country, have different jobs, and even start planting some roots in this country. Everything has been so wonderful, of course. There are times that I really miss my family. Sometimes things change at home and I'm not able to be there for those important moments. But I have the privilege to say that my experience as a Hispanic immigrant in the United States has been really wonderful, and I'm proud of my origins and I'm proud to be here. I have been able to have opportunities that I wouldn't otherwise have in Colombia. I also have a chance to have a sense of safety, a sense that everything is possible. But I would like to open the forum for your stories. Are any of you Hispanic immigrants in the United States? Maybe your parents are, or maybe you're just an immigrant from any other part of the world. How has your experience in the United States have been? I know not every experience is the same. I know some of us have to really struggle to make it here. But I would like to hear your stories. Don't forget to give us a big like and hit the subscribe button to keep learning about cultures, Spanish, and Hispanic culture.